Hey y'all, welcome back for another episode of Uncut Gems with Slim. You guys, I hope you enjoyed your Easter Sunday last week and your week is off to a good start this week. So I've been this has just been my life, or I won't say my life, but the past week and a half has just been like a little snowball effect that's just been rolling up, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger, y'all. And so I was like, this is something that I could definitely share with you guys because I feel like a lot of people go through stuff, okay? And that's why today's podcast episode is called happens, okay? Which stands for sometimes it happens. Sometimes things happen. Things happen. Life happens to every single one of us. And so I just wanted to share with you, like, I'll break down what has led me up to this point, to this idea to talk about this today. But maybe about a week and a half ago, I was driving and listen to the mirror when it says things can be closer than they appear. I was really tired. Anyway, long story short, my side view mirror had broken. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so annoyed because, y'all, my car is my baby. She is paid off, okay? And so I was just like so frazzled about it, and I was like, dang, now I got to let me back up. Let's back up. So I was planning a trip, booked this trip on Airbnb, and as soon as I booked it, the location was different than the location I searched. I still got a bone to pick. Neither here nor there. The cancellation, I noticed it as soon as I booked, y'all. The cancellation policy was like, you only get the cleaning fee back if you cancel. Mind you, it's like almost 30 days out from when I was trying to book the trip. And so basically I was going back and forth all day between Airbnb, between the host and Airbnb. They were so kind, but I feel like there should, regardless if you book, like, if the person immediately, like, it don't even got to be within 24 hours, but within like a certain amount of time, I feel like you should be able to get a refund if the error wasn't specifically the person who booked it. Because there's no reason why when if I searched LA, a result that comes up under LA shouldn't be Vegas. You know what I'm saying? So neither here nor there. That whole situation basically wound up costing me hundreds of dollars out of pocket because we weren't going to that place. And so after going back and forth between the host and the Airbnb, which they both was saying the same thing, that the other person was the one who was able to give me a full refund, neither of them had the authority, because they kept saying each person had the authority. So I only got my cleaning fee back, and the Airbnb lady was able to refund me the service fee, which was still less than the money they got out of me. Anyway, so I'm tight about that because I literally just lost like almost $500. And so after that comes up the end of the week. I'm like over it. I done got over it. I'm like, it's the weekend. I'm getting home from work, boom, side view mirror broken. I'm annoyed, okay? And it was my fault, but I was just like, this will only happen to me. Look it up, call the guy. They can't see me until the following week. I see them. I done Google my car and Google how much a side view mirror costs. I'm thinking it's gonna be like, it can't be no more than $200. The part was saying it was $170. Y'all, I got to the people, they were saying it was like $600-700. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. After I just lost almost $500, you got to be kidding me. I ain't kidding, y'all. It cost that much. And so I was just over here like over it. Then, boom, get it fixed, whatever. Then I get into the weekend. Boom. I'm sick. Y'all, and it's not COVID because I'm vaccinated. If you ain't get vaccinated, go get vaccinated. But I went to bed and I had like a lot of covers on me, and we had the heat on, and I have like, not only do I have like allergies and sinuses, but like, you know, if you go to sleep and you have like too much covers on or it's too hot, your nose can get stuffy. But this must have been the catalyst of the catapult, because y'all, I literally like woke up, my nose was like stopped up, can't breathe. Then go outside, it's like pollen everywhere. So now like I got a whole sinus cold allergy situation going on all weekend, almost lasted an entire week. I'm just now feeling better today, and this happened started last weekend, which is almost a full week ago. And so I was not feeling well, kind of under the weather, so my energy is like low. If you've been following me on Instagram, like I haven't been posting that many stories because I literally have just like not been feeling well. Feeling better, shout out to the Lord, amen. So after all of this, I went home, did my taxes. Of course, gotta owe money because as an influencer, your taxes aren't taken out of your... But the good news with that, it was less than I was expecting, so I was happy there. But when I went to leave, y'all, my windshield was shattered. Yes, shattered. Shattered. Spiderweb all the way across. Nothing hit it. Absolutely nothing hit it. The sun, the heat, burst my windshield. Now, I know that sounds like, oh, it burst and crackled. No, my tent held it together. But for me, who already had been through losing my money through Airbnb, I had to come out of pocket almost $700 for a side view mirror. I wasn't feeling good. Then I come out to my windshield broken. Talk about sugar happens. Talk about sometimes it happens, sometimes things happen, y'all. Life happens, and this was just a snowball effect, and I'm just trying to build y'all up to where I am now, and how I kind of came about with this idea for the episode is because like through everything that happened, I had you know, my family and everything. They would be like, you know, encouraging me through it all. And at the end of the day, with each thing, it's like, you know what? Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you get a flat tire. Sometimes your tire bursts. Sometimes you got to get work done to your car. Sometimes you're going to accidentally make a mistake and lose some money because you ain't read everything in the policy. Or you ain't read the cancellation policy before booking. Or you didn't catch something. It's always going to be something that happens. Life happens to every one of us. Sometimes you're gonna get sick out of the blue. Sometimes the heat gonna burst your windshield. Although I ain't never seen it a day in my life. If it happens to you, I hope it don't. But if it happens, you heard it here first. It is a thing. I got it fixed thanks to insurance. But like all of that was just like snowballing up on me, and I was just feeling like, yo, I'm over it. This is getting on my nerves. But at a certain point, I got to a point where I was like, you know what? By the time my windshield had cracked, I was like, yo, it happens. I did cry because I cry whenever I get mad or overwhelmed. I cry. But through my crying, I was like, you know what? Baby girl, it happens. And it happens to a lot of us. And so I don't know what you might be going through right now, or you know what's been going on in your life, but it happens, and it happens to everyone. So don't feel like you're alone, and don't feel like it's such a huge thing because it happened. Just know that it happens. It happens to every one of us in different capacities. So I just want to remind you guys today that life happens to everyone, and it could be worse. So it would be better for all of us to just shift our focus instead of on what happened or, you know, what we didn't do. What can you do? What have you already accomplished first, so you can acknowledge that, you know, you've done great things before, you've been a great person before, you've been honest before, you've done all these things before. What have you already accomplished, so you can realize and put a mirror to yourself and recognize, like, no, like, you are that girl, you are that guy, you are that person who's done it before. Like, you've accomplished things before, right? And so once you acknowledge what you've accomplished, what can you do now? Crying wasn't gonna make my windshield piece itself back together. What can I do about now? Talking about it all the time is not gonna make my windshield piece it together. What can I do now? I can call insurance. I can set up an appointment to get my windshield fixed, and that's the way I'm gonna get a resolution, and it's gonna be fixed. So after you acknowledge where have you been, what have you accomplished already, what can you do now? From there, what can be done to move your attitude in a different position? Okay, so one thing for me is, like, if I'm feeling down, like when I wasn't feeling good, like sick or anything, I wasn't necessarily in a position where I felt like creating content or being present on social media. So what I did, I found me a nice little Netflix show to watch, and that just kind of gave me calm vibes. I took naps when I felt tired. I wasn't pushing myself to be more than I needed to be in that moment, because if I'm not feeling well, it's okay to take a step back from work. It's okay to take a step back and just relax and give your body what it needs to be healthy. And then what else can you do to, like, move your day and your situation in a more positive direction? So last week I asked you guys on Instagram, on the Uncut Gems with Slim podcast Instagram. If you're not following, make sure you follow it. I'll put the handle on the screen. But I asked you guys, like, what's going on? Like, a soul check, a self check. How are y'all doing? And you can let me know in the comments right now. How are y'all doing today? On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you doing? And I had people say, oh, they were a 4 out of 10. They were a 6 out of 10. So, okay, let's acknowledge where we're at. So we're acknowledging where we're at. And then my next question was, what could have happened, or what could you do to push your rating out of 10 closer to a 10 out of 10? So if I'm having a bad day, right, and it's a 2 out of 10, what can I do to make my day just a little bit more? It don't have to make it a 10 out of 10, but what could have happened to make it a 10 out of 10? What could have happened to push it up the scale a little bit to maybe a 6 out of 10 versus the 2 out of 10 that it started as? Does that mean on your lunch break you run to Starbucks to get you a pick-me-up and get your favorite Starbucks drink, because that's gonna make you feel a little bit better even though you're not having the best of a day or you're not in the best attitude at the moment? Like, just think of little things that you can do that can push a little barometer a little bit closer to that 10 out of 10. And just like I said, you guys, I'm gonna wrap this episode right here because I can get to chatty, but sometimes it happens. Sometimes things happens. Life happens to everyone. I'm gonna keep saying it because that's just true. Life happens to everybody. And when life happens, acknowledge where you've been, acknowledge where you are, and what can you do from here? What can we do now? What is gonna make impact to make your day better, to make your attitude better, to make your situation better? What can you do? And focus on that. Don't focus on what other people can do to make your day better, because you can't control what other people can do or what other people's attitudes and stuff are. You can only control you. So what can you do to make your day closer to a 10 out of 10? That's all I got for y'all. I hope this episode kind of resonated with some of you guys, and you could relate when you're going through stuff, or you feel like, you know, stuff is just back to back to back to back, and just stuff just keeps happening to you, and you asking yourself, why me? Like, why me, God? Like, why do I got to go through all this? Instead of asking yourself, why you? Why not you? The reason why things happen to you is because you can handle it. It's just a test to expand your knowledge and your wisdom so you could grow. And when someone else, what you're going through right now might be something that can free somebody else. So what I experienced, I mean, as small as my windshield, if my sister or my future daughter or son or husband or something, if that windshield thing happened, who gonna cry about it? Not me. Why? Because I've had that experience, so I can help somebody else. Like, oh, all you need to do is do this, this, and this, and that's how you can get it fixed quick and easy. There's no need to worry about it. No need to blame yourself because it happens. Okay, so if you get sick, like I had my little cold stuff, I got me a little NyQuil, I got me a little sinus medicine, and I was okay. So it's like you go through things to add more to your tool belt so you can help other people down the line. And so you might not see it when you're going through it because it's just gonna feel like you a big snowball and you just rolling and rolling, collecting more debris as you rolling through all these things hitting you back to back to back. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be worth it. Things happen, but you're gonna make it through. Whatever y'all do, just keep going and focus on the things you can do to make your day a 10 out of 10. Strive for a 10 out of 10 day. And if it's not a 10 out of 10 day, just acknowledge what you could have done to make it better, or do something before you go to sleep that can knock your little pendulum or your barometer a point or a half point up. Like do something that can, like, you know, bring your day up just a little bit before you go to bed. So that's all I have, because now I'm just rambling. But I love you guys so very much. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I got a little twist out going on. I have not separated it or fluffed it. So this is day one. I wore my twist to work looking like a 12-year-old kid, but you know. And if you're listening to this via podcast, shout out to you for subscribing on all podcast streaming platforms. But make sure you also check us out on YouTube so you can get into this, you know, little flawless makeup and this little twist out that I got going on. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Make sure you subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Uncut Gems with Slim, as well as my main channel YouTube and main Instagram page. Make sure you guys check me out on there. I love y'all so very much, and until next week. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and feel free to connect with me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Slim Reshae. That's SLIMRESHAE. Links will be listed in the show notes, and until next time, love yourself and be beautiful. When you need to find